Today I'm going to show you how you can create a box plot like this in Excel. So here I've got some sample test scores from an easy exam, a moderate exam, and a hard exam. And so the benefit of using a box plot is that it allows you to easily visualize the data to see, the range, the low, the high, the median, and the interquartile range. How much of the data centered around the median to show how much of a variance there was. So you can see on the moderate exam the variance was a lot lower than on the easy exam, but the overall range was a lot broader. So using the box plot, you can easily assess your or have an overview of your data to see how reasonable it is and compare it to other data sets. So I'm going to show you how you can recreate this on sheet 2. I've got the same data, and I'm going to show you two ways. One is if you got the box and whisker chart in Excel, this will only take a few seconds to create this. And I'm also going to show you the longer way of doing it using a stack chart if you don't have access to the box and whisker chart. So if I go to the insert menu and go to charts, under all charts, if you have it, there'll be a box and whisker section right here. Click OK, and then just like that, you've essentially created your box plot. Now the only things you may want to change is maybe adding a legend. So if I go to add chart element, add a legend at the top here, maybe adjust this range here. If I right click, format axis, set this to 100 because I don't need to go to 120, and maybe get rid of this axis at the bottom here. And just like that chart's looks ready to go. But I'm going to show you how you can create a similar chart using just a stack chart. Okay, so to do this, it's going to involve more steps, but once you've got the template set up, you can obviously reuse it, and you can follow along on the post related to this video where you can download the same file that I'm working on here, and again, that link will be in the description. So the key thing is when doing this is to create another table of the different quartiles and the min and the max, and then determining the size of the different quartiles. So what I'm going to do is copy these headers over and type in Q1, Q2, Q3, min, and max, since those are the values that I'm going to need here. I don't need Q4 because I'm just going to use the maximum value. But for the easy exam, to grab the quartile, I'm just going to use quartile.inc, select this range, enter the number 1. And this is the same as if I were to use percentile. Right? So if I just type in percentile inc, select the range. The only difference is for the K value, I'm going to use 0.25 because obviously the first quartile is up to the first 25% of the data. So whether you use percentile or quartile, it really doesn't matter. But in this example, I'm just going to use quartile. Freeze the cells, and then if you click Control D, that'll copy the values from above. And all you do is change these to 1, 2, and 3. For the min, I'm going to still copy from above, but I'm going to use the min function here, and then get rid of the last argument. Again, Control D, change the min to a max. And now I've got my quartiles, min and max for the easy. I'm going to copy this over for the moderate and hard exams as well. So a quick way you can change your formulas here, like as opposed to changing it individually, I can just use the find and replace, $A, change it to $B, replace all, and now I've got everything referencing this other range. And again, I can do the same thing here. This time instead of column A, I'm going to change it to column C. Replace all. And again, now I've got column C. Saves me from having to copy and paste and change the values, change the ranges manually. Okay, so now that I've got the data that I need, now I'm going to create yet another table here. And you can always do this in one table as well, but just for the purpose of breaking out these steps, I'm going to show you step by step how to do these individual tables. So I need the min value I need the size of the first quartile, the second one, the third, and the fourth. And so the minimum value I can just pull from here. Copy this across. For the size of the first quartile, what I'm going to do is take that first quartile number and subtract the maximum from it. That tells me what the size of that first quartile needs to be. Second quartile is, I can just take Q2 minus Q1 and then copy this across as well. For the third quartile, I'm just going to take Q3 minus Q2. Copy this across. For the fourth quartile, I'm just going to take the maximum and subtract the Q3. And so now I've got the size of these different quartiles. So now I can actually go and create my chart. Go under all the charts and my stacked column chart. So right off the bat, it's not going to give me exactly what I need here. I'm going to right click, select the data, and I'm going to swap it around because I don't want the min first, second, and the different quartile going across the bottom. I want the exams going across the bottom, right? So I've got the easy exam, the moderate exam, and the hard exam. Get rid of this legend here because it's not going to be terribly useful for me here. And so now I've got my stack chart. Right now this is not looking like a box plot, obviously. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of these minimum values because these minimum values are just going to act as a buffer, as a starting point. So if I right click, change the fill to no fill, it disappears, right? So now I've just got the size of these different ranges, but I only want the inner quartile range of these two quartiles, the middle ones, the ones around the median, right? So for this orange one, I'm again going to go back to changing this to no fill. I'm going to do one other thing though. I'm going to go to add chart element, error bars, and standard deviation. So I'm going to add that error bar, but I'm going to adjust it because right now it's going all the way down past my minimum value. My minimum value for the easy exam is 65, so it needs to stop higher. So I'm going to format the error bar and then set it to minus, no cap, and the percentage to 100. Once I do that, that looks a lot more reasonable, right around that 65 range. I'm going to do the same thing for the blue one. Set the fill to no fill. Add chart elements, error bars, standard deviation. And I can click on any one of these for my error bars. Again, set it to minus, no cap, percentage 100. Because all I really want is that line there. So you can see now it's starting to look like a box plot. The only thing at this point really, and it's an optional one, well, first thing I'm going to do is adjust the axis again because I don't want this going to 120. Hit enter. Now this is a lot more comparable to the chart I had before using the box and whisker. And one thing you can do is change the color if you want. You know, let's say do a light green and then an outline darker green. Again, light green, outline in darker green. And now you've got that same sort of setup where you've got the low, the high, and then in this middle line here, that's the median, and you've got that inner quartile range again. So same sort of setup, well, similar sort of setup as the box and whisker chart. So if you prefer one or the other, obviously you can have either option if you've got both charts available on your version of Excel, but I just want to show you how you could do it both ways. But that's in a nutshell how you can create a box plot on Excel. Thanks for watching.